Well, Disco Defense. That's Joe. That's LA. The Alaska Aces, along with Cyrus Baguio, they're going for a 2-0 record dito sa ating Philippine Cup. James Yap, he'll be wearing the mask in just a moment. And he'll be leading a depleted BMEG Derby A squad in tonight's Wednesday showdown mula dito sa Cuneta Astrodome. Magandang gabi po sa kanilang lahat. This is the PBA on Solar TV. And is it just me? Am I getting shorter and shorter, or are the analysts here getting taller and taller? Okay, Pico Alili kasama. Senor Domingo El Conquistador, Dominic Uy. Dominic, how are you?
I'm good, thank you, Miko, and it's good to be back here, and it's good to be beside you this time, and not usually when you're talking down on me when I'm on the floor.
So you're talking down on me?
Yes, no.
Feeling is not mutual. Okay, pag-usapan natin ang ating labanan dito, Alaska kontra BMEG. And, well, let's talk about Smoking Joe. Some people may want to call him Smoking Joe. I'd like to call him Disco Defense. Because the hair. It's all about the hair.
You know, I actually talked to him and he said he's been growing it for about 8 months at
hindi halata. Hindi halata.
Hindi halata. Ganyan talaga pagkakulot kagaya ko. But you look at his production in their last game. He had 24 points, 4 out of 6 from 3-point land, and 12 rebounds. But he led the charge in the third quarter. Actually, it was a come-from-behind victory by the Alaska Aces. It was actually a close first half with kalaban nila tong Barako Bull. But in the second half, they stepped it up and actually got the lead in the third quarter.
So in 6 months, your hair will look just like that. Is that what you're saying?
I think it'll look a little bit wilder, parang beehive.
Oh my gosh. Okay, sa kabilang kampo naman ng BMEG, you know, they don't have Kirby, no Pingris, no Rivas. But Jonas Villanueva, I'm sure he's so elated to be out of the San Miguel camp, not because he was unhappy, but because he gets so much more minutes. And Peter Jun Simon, because of the depleted lineup, more pressure on him to really put up points.
Well, these two guys gave a good account of themselves. Look at their numbers, 20 points and 18 points respectively. They played very well. And especially for Jonas Villanueva, you know, like you mentioned, he was playing for San Miguel. He actually had a finals MVP stint with the San Miguel Beermen. But now, he's really coming into fold. You look at his numbers, 20 points in 27 minutes. Those really, really good numbers for Jonas Villanueva. Ito namang si PJ Simon, alam natin, he's the super sub. And if they have a depleted lineup, PJ Simon, 18 points in their last game.
And he's no longer subbing. He has to start. Jonas Villanueva getting his first start para sa BMEG. He came off the bench. Yan din yung mga iniisip ngayon ni Coach Tim Cone and of course new PBA coach George Gallant.
Well, Coach George Gallant rewarding itong si Jonas Villanueva dun sa maganda niyang linaro. At ngayon isa-start niya itong si Villanueva.
And this game is underway. Ang Alaska po in fighting red, samantalang ang BMEG po in immaculate white. Alaska starts off with the boss Sunny Toss, LA Tenorio, Joe Devance, Cyrus Baguio, and Tony De La Cruz. Mahalagang pagmasdan. I mean, how BMEG will manage their situation right now. I mean, you're losing a lot of points and you're losing a lot of rebounds with the players that they are missing.
Well, 3 tall guys. Itong Pingres, ito si Raimundo, and of course, Rafi Rivas. But what you like about that, if you're a player for BMEG, is this gives you an opportunity now to shine, especially if your contract is expiring, or you just want minutes, just like guys like John Dan Salvador. You know he can play. When he was a rookie, he played a vital role for Pure Foods at that time. So now, again, it's his time. He gets his opportunity. It's a great opportunity for him.
Hey, you know, and as in anything in life, you can choose to look at things as like half full or half empty, and you make an excellent point. You're John Dan Salvador, even guys like Don Aliado, Chris Timberlake. I mean, if you are playing for a team na medyo kulang-kulang kayo sa player, that's the perfect time to really show what you've got.
Well, even Jonas Villanueva, you know, guys who come into play now, this is your opportunity to make a name for yourself na maaalala ka. PJ Simon, when he was known as a super sub, he was actually, they had a depleted lineup at that time. So he made a name for himself doing that. And again, he's being called to duty to do that. Rico Meyerhofer, our rookie of the year last year, wanting to build up from that great rookie season, coming into his second season, tingnan natin anong magagawa niya.
Now the Alaska Aces, they're coming off that expected win over Barako Bull. They had a sluggish start. If you remember that game, dikit yung laro na yun in the first half, and then they got their bearings back, and as everyone expected, they easily handled Barako Bull. in that game, galing sa bakasyon, medyo ano pa parang medyo vacation mode pa siguro yung mga utak nila, no? But I would expect that in this game, they'll really be in tune early on.
Iba na, no? Well, you said that they came from a vacation in the United States, which was given by their team owner, and I'm sure they had a lot of good times there. Yung first half nakita natin, mukhang nahirapan sila, but in the second half, surprisingly, they were able to turn it on right away. So for a team that only had been practicing for 2 weeks, that's a great sign that, you know, they're back to business. Everybody wants to be able to get another championship.
Here's Peter Jun Simon firing away. Rebound nakuha ni Sonny Tos. Score natin 5-2, 3-point lead para sa Alaska. Here's the Vance. Baguio, the Vance fires. Rebound para kay Jondan Salvador.
And what you like about that victory of the Alaska Aces is the 3 guys that top scored were the guys that played very well for them in the previous conference. So you know they're not slacking off. You have Tenorio, you have Cyrus Baguio, and you have Joe Devance still leading the charge. So you know that this team has identity.
There's a foul against Don Aliado. Bola mapupunta sa Alaska. And you mentioned about Alaska's identity. The biggest question mark about this team was whether or not they can still be successful without Diamond Simpson right there in the middle.
Well, they'll have to be able to put him somebody, a big guy, especially Sonny Thos, who will be able to get those rebounds and change the shots of the opposing teams para naman magkaroon sila or to be more successful in this conference.
Still a 1-point game here.
We have to remember that Sonny Thos was pretty much injured the most of the conference. So kaya naman itong si Diamond Simpson really was playing 45, 48 minutes a game.
Thos goes up, blocked by Meyerhofer. And De La Cruz with a wild shot. Bola ng BMEG Derby Ace. They're down by 1. Here's Villanueva. Villanueva spins. Nice swipe by Tenorio.
Well, you can see Tenorio pretty much in tip-top shape. His quickness is there and his aggressiveness is there.
First personal laban kay Jondan Salvador.
We can see at the start, parang nagpapakiramdaman pa itong dalawang teams natin. But let's see. We know that BMEG and Coach George Gallant really want to be able to run because they know that's the time they would be able to get easy baskets.
Meyerhofer, Villanueva. Over 8 minutes remaining dito sa opening quarter. And here's Simon firing away. Yes, sir. That's a 3.
Great way to find the open man, PJ Simon. And yan ang magiging key natin, Nico, in this conference. Teams that will be able to move the ball very well, find the open man, because we know it's a lot more physical in this conference.
Holding foul number 8, Peter Jun Simon. That's his first
foul laban kay Peter Jun Simon is first. At yan ang second team foul laban sa Derby Ace. Baguio had a great all-around game against the Energy Boosters. And Tony De La Cruz misses.
Well, some people have doubts now about the Alaska Aces, the triangle offense, if it will be as successful. Kasi now you'll be able to push the big men of the Alaska Aces, so wala yung post-entry pass. But Coach Tim Cohn, I know, he's been very successful also when he extends the triangle offense. So let's see if they'll be able to do that.
Turn around by Meyerhofer. No success there. And you know, Alaska traditionally is not a team that handles physicality very well.
Well, they have a lot of finesse players. And if you look at how they pattern their team, wala naman talagang bruiser dyan eh. I mean, when you remember the Alaska Aces of old or the Alaska Milkmen.
Yung Bruce Brothers.
Bruce Brothers, Villamin, Ricky Rilosa. I mean, these are the guys that would bruise, but they wouldn't really get major minutes.
You're still using major until now.
Ang hirap makalimutan eh.
Here's the Vance. Eyeball to eyeball with Aliado. Shot knocked down to 4. Top shot by the Vance. Great defense by BMEG Derby Ace.
You can see that offense broke down because nobody was moving. When Joe Devance got the ball, everybody just started watching him.
So now, lamang na ng dalawa ang Limados, 7-5 as we near the halfway mark of the opening period. Here's Aliado. Shot clock down to 3. He goes up without the ball. Shot clock down to 1. And Jonas Villanueva launches one, and it's a shot clock violation here. Oh no, play will continue. And here comes Baguio with a slight bump. Fires, scores.
And that's what you like about the new way that the referees are calling the game. Is if there's no distinct advantage, there's no foul, there's no stoppage.
In other words, if it's not important, ignore. Ignore it.
Well, it really toughens up the players also. And as a player, as a former player, I really like it when it's physical. Mas ganado ka, you have something to prove. Mas nanggigigil ka to be able to make a shot. And when you do make a shot, you feel there's more fulfillment when nakakashoot ka.
I know you have a reputation for loving body contact. 5:40 remaining in the opening quarter. Timeout muna tayo dito. We're tied at 7 apiece. Back inside the Cuneta Astrodome, more first quarter action coming up. In the meantime, let's go to Magoo Marjan.
Miko, we got some good news at konting bad news sa panig ng BMEG. The bad news is James Yap will still have to wear that protective mask for today and for the foreseeable future. The good news is he's had an extra 6 days to get used to it after only sporting it for 2 days before their opening game. Also, Jerwin Gaco and Romel Aducol are suited up and ready to play today, which gives Coach George Gallant a little more depth with the continued absence of their 3 big men. Gallant wants the Llamados to play 48 minutes of aggressive basketball by disrupting the Aces triangle, pushing the tempo, and employing their 4-second rule to get across the timeline to give themselves a shot at beating Alaska. Miko?
Wow, with that 4-second rule, it only means one thing. You run, run, and run.
Keep pushing the ball, trying to be able to look ahead. Basta pagka-rebound mo, tingin ka na sa taas.
The Vans having a hard time with Jerwin Gaco. That's why Jerwin Gaco has a job in this league.
Well, Jerwin Gaco, we know he's a tough defender, and the rules now, or the way they interpret the rules, will definitely favor players like Jerwin Gaco.
Villanueva has the ball. Good matchup here with Eli Tenorio, pareho dating taga San Miguel. Here's James Yap with the mask. And referee Art Herrera, who is our Chief Justice for the night, spots a foul. Herrera is working alongside referee Bong Pascual and referee Edward the Skyscraper Aquino.
Well, going back to what Magoo was saying about James Yap, those 6 days definitely will help James Yap. We know he played well in their last game, but only in the third quarter. You can see that he's really not 100% just yet. Dun nga dun sa kanyang operation and coming off that off-season. So they need James Yap in this team to be able to score if they want to have an opportunity to win games.
A foul here against Nino Canaleta. Canaleta struggled in their first game. They might have been adjusting to a lot of things, maybe adjusting to the physical style of play and also adjusting to a different role. You know, when you're not feeding off a Kirby Raimundo or even a James Yap, that's a different story.
Before receiver lang siya sa corner. Ang nangyari sa kanya last game, he actually had to create his own shot, which he's not used to doing.
Meantime, here's toss, open shot. At lamang na ang Alaska, 9-7.
Great setup job by LA Tenorio. Yun yung sinasabi natin, matagal mo nang kasama itong si Sonny Toss. You know that he likes to step out for that 15-footer. Tenorio finding him wide open for that shot.
Under 5 minutes to go in the opening period. James Yap in motion against Cyrus Baguio. That's an all-star matchup. And here's Jonas Villanueva firing away. Yes, sir. That's a 3.
James Yap doing a very good job of finding the open man. When he turned into the paint, nakita niya yung help, nagsag yung depensa, nahanap niya itong si Jonas Villanueva.
Here's toss, handoff De La Cruz. Shot clock down to 10, and the Vans will miss. Llamados on the move. And here's Canaleta, hesitates, and the ball goes out. It will stay with the BMEG Derbies.
Well, James Yap looked like he got a hit there. Wasn't able to go down right away. Looks like he's holding on to his left thigh.
In the meantime, palitan ng tao. Jonas Villanueva and Jonathan Salvador are on the bench. Roger Yap makes his first appearance in this game at patuloy pa rin naalat itong si Nino Canaleta.
Well, that was a typical shot that Canaleta would take a lot last conference.